Hare Krishna everyone. Hope you had a lovely day. Welcome to Soma Vedic Astrology channel. Today we will discuss about the placement first lord in the 7th house. What do you mean by the lord of the house in Vedic astrology? Now each planet has got a responsibility of handling either one or two houses. So this planets become the lord of those houses. Now look at this table to see which planet is the lord of which zodiac sign. So if you see this table, Mars is the lord of two zodiac signs, which is Aries and Scorpio. Venus is the lord of two zodiac signs, Taurus and Libra. So in this way, each of the planet has gotten a department to handle either one or two zodiac signs. Now let us try to understand that with an example. Now for example, if in your chart third lord is in the fourth house, so how you conclude whether third lord is in fourth house? So if you see, this is the first house where 12 is written, this is the second house where 1 is written, and this is the third house where 2 is written. Now what is 2? If we have a look at the table, then 2 is nothing but the Taurus zodiac sign. And who is the lord of Taurus zodiac sign? It is Venus. Okay, so what you will say then, lord of the third house is Venus. Okay, because it is the lord of the Taurus zodiac sign. And but where is Venus placed? Now Venus is placed in the fourth house of the birth chart. So this is how you will conclude that third lord is in the fourth house. So today we will check the placement first lord in the seventh house, but before that I have already made detailed videos on what all things can we see from the first house as well as from the seventh house. Please go and check that out before proceeding with this video. Also, a small disclaimer. Please note that this is a general prediction depending only on the placement of lords in a specific house. Accurate results will only come after considering the zodiac sign, planets, dignity of the planets, retrogression, combustion, aspects, nakshatra, ascendant, shadbal, conjunction, and your running time period, which is Mahadasha, Antardasha, etc. Now, first lord is going 7 places away and sitting in the 7th house. 7 places away always shows the areas of life where one seeks for alliances, where one seeks for long-term partnerships, union, and where one wants to mingle with the other person to form an union. So here, when the first lord is going 7 places away, you're seeking for a partnership which reflects you, okay, who is just similar to you or someone who completes you. Now, both the houses, first as well as the seventh house, are part of the Kendra houses. So, Kendra houses are the foremost basic pillars of any chart. House number 1, 4, 7, and 10 are called as the Kendra houses, and it shows yourself, your happiness, your spouse, and your career, respectively. Apart from this, first house is also a trikona house. So trikona houses are the most auspicious houses of any chart because it has auspiciousness due to getting blessings from your ancestors, getting blessings because of the past life merits, and just being lucky. So when this trikona and kendra or kendra connection is formed, it is considered as an auspicious placement. And this, if it is well placed, has beneficial aspects, then it denotes good marital harmony. Now, seventh house, apart from being a Kendra house, is also a Maraka house. So, Maraka houses are those houses in the chart in which the Dasha period time, it has the potential to give pain and suffering equivalent to that of death. So, if it is badly placed, then there is a possibility of health issues or accidents, especially in the head area, because first Lord shows your overall, the head portion of a person. Especially when the dasha period is active, this situation is possible, so one has to take care. If this dasha is activated, could impact longevity and can give vata related health issues during this time period. Now first house is part of the dharma trikon. So dharma trikon in any chart deals with being righteous, following the rightful, truthful, moralistic path, and not intentionally hurting anybody. Dharma trikon also relates to following one's duty irrespective of whether you are getting something in return or not. Doing duty for the sake of duty, not doing duty because you are going to get some sensual pleasures in return, or you are going to get some monetarily benefits in return. So this is what is a part of the dharma trikon. On the other hand, seventh house is part of the kama trikon, which deals with getting submerged into all kind of materialistic sensual pleasures of life. So when these two houses are getting linked together, where first lord of self is going and sitting in the kama trikon house, it shows that you might have sensual nature and you are focused to achieve all the materialistic and sensual pleasures of life. But in this process, one should not forget to follow that righteous path, and to not intentionally harm the person who is there in front, otherwise it is going to backfire you badly. Now first lord is a lord of yourself, and it also shows the head portion of a person. Seventh house is a house which shows your spouse, so you are going and sitting in the house of your spouse, so it shows that you might be someone, you influence your spouse through your thought processes. You are the dominating one or the bossy one in the relationship. Now because of this bossy attitude, or a attitude where you are always right, there is a possibility of high ego clashes in the union. So one has to deal with how to resolve the ego clashes and how to make it more of an equitable relationship. Now first lord is a lord which shows your personality, and seventh house is a house which shows the exterior world. Okay, so your personality, your projection is going and sitting in the house of the exterior world. So what is happening here, that there is a possibility that your personality is getting highly influenced by the external world, based on what other people think of you, how you are perceived in the society. So this might add a little bit of fickleness to your character, because you want to look your best when you are in front of the people, so you might try to modify your habits and behaviors according to the people with whom you are in. But in this process, one should not forget their true self. Now, first lord is a lord which shows name, fame, status, and seventh house is a house of marriage. So, if this is well placed, then there might be an increase in your status, social identity after marriage. First lord is a lord of health and vitality, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse, long term partners, business partners. So, if this is a well placed combination without any afflictions, then it shows that your spouse might be someone with good health, and is someone who generally focuses on one's health and fitness and vitality. Now, first lord shows your personality, and seventh house is a house of your marriage. So, with this placement, there is a possibility of change of your complete personality after marriage. So, we have heard people saying that, oh, that person before marriage was like this, and after marriage is completely changed. We no longer recognize who this person is, what she was earlier, and what she is now. This complete um change of personality after marriage is possible. Now, first lord is a lord which shows name, reputation, and seventh house is a house of your spouse. So, if this is well placed, then your spouse might be someone who has a very good reputation and popularity in the society that one is living in, is successful, confident, is supportive of you, and has a very strong personality. First lord is a lord of self, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse and business partner. So with this placement, there is also possibility of you and your spouse working together, or possibility of marrying a business partner if you're already existing in a business. Now first lord shows self, and seventh house is a house of spouse and business partner. So if it is a well placed combination without afflictions, then one can get a very supportive, fortunate spouse, and there will be happiness and marital harmony with this union. But if it is badly placed, then there is also a possibility of you making very hasty decisions, impulsive decision, because first lord is like the natural lord of Aries, a zodiac sign which is known for the impulsivity. So you might take very impulsive decisions when entering into long term partnerships. So one has to be very, one has to think about whom one needs to be with for a long term. One has to do thorough research, see all the background checks, do everything, take time and research everything. There should be no surprises later on. Do not take any impulsive decision. Take your own sweet time, see how it is going, and then decide on the long term partnership decisions. Now, first lord is a lord of self, and seventh house is a house which shows spouse, business partners. So, with this placement, possibility of you knowing your future partner is high, and somewhere, subconsciously you are desiring for that union. Now, first lord is a lord of self, and seventh house shows traveling, especially for work, and especially somewhere far away from your place of birth, or for foreign travel. So, with this placement, there is a possibility for lot of traveling for work, or changing of residence away from the place of birth or to a foreign land, especially after marriage. First lord is a lord of self, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So with this placement, you and the house of spouse, it's literally getting intertwined into each other. So it shows that there might be some similarities between you and your spouse. Now, that what kind of similarities, what similar traits you both will have, that will depend on which planet it is, what zodiac sign it is. Okay, so for that we have to see the entire chart. In some cases it also shows someone marrying into their similar caste, or similar kind of a family background. Something similar is there, uh, unless there is any affliction from Rahu or Ketu. Now first lord is a lord of self, and seventh house is a house of partnerships and union. So with this placement, you are someone who is seeking partnership very actively, and you are someone who is interested to know a lot about your partner before entering into that relationship. But here in this process where you are actively trying to seek partnership, you should not try to lose yourself, because somewhere or the other you are trying to attach your identity completely to being in a partnership with someone, or to being in love with someone. Now first lord is a lord of identity, your identity, and seventh house is the house of spouse. So with this placement, sometimes it is possible that your entire identity in the outside world is limited to being someone's husband or someone's wife, mrs this, mrs xyz, or mr xyz. So one's identity here is being tied to being a person's husband or wife. Now, this works well for some people, wherein a person does not, actively is seeking a dominant role, and is happy with being someone's husband or wife. And in some cases it doesn't work, where both are trying out there to shine in the world. So the same case might work well for some people, might not work for some other people. Now first lord is a lord of self, and seventh house shows others, okay, outside world. So with this placement, you might also be someone who might seek a lot of social validation from other people, even for small things. So here one has to try to increase their self confidence, not based on what others think, but based on that you are, happy and confident in yourself the way you are. You don't need other people's opinions and validations to feel that ego boost or to feel confident in your skin. Okay, your opinions depend a lot on what other people think of them. You could be someone who could be easily convinced, easily influenced. So you have to be very mindful on interacting with the right set of people. Otherwise, some people might influence you even in wrong ways. Now, first lord shows your life path, okay, where your life is heading, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So, in your overall life, also your life path is to deal with anything and everything that happens with your spouse. Maybe you're too protective of your spouse and wants to be kind of a shield to defend your spouse in any situations possible. Your life path will also deal with lot of public dealing, lot of partnerships and making deals and contracts and all kind of seventh house related things is what your life path is filled of. Now, first lord is a lord of self, and seventh house shows companionship. So, having a companion, a life partner with this placement is becoming very important to you. Like your entire existence sometimes depends on whether you have someone in your life or not. You feel a little bit empty without being in a relationship. Now, first lord is a lord which shows ego, and seventh house is a house which shows partnerships. Now, in extreme cases, depending on the entire chart, one might also not marry because of the ego that you are complete and fulfilled in oneself. Now, first lord is a lord of self, and seventh house shows marriage. So, if it is afflicted, then one would want to remain married, even if there is problem persisting due to, because you're so attached to the identity that you are a married person, that you do not want to lose that identity of yours, and which is why even if the things are not going too well, you will not try to separate. Now, first lord is a lord which shows how your personality develops over time, and seventh house is the house of marriage. So, your personality development happens after marriage, happens after you meet your spouse. Okay. Now, first lord is a lord of self, and seventh house is a house which shows your partnership. So, if it is badly placed, afflicted, then this entire intense desire that you have to be into a relationship, to have that ego boost of being in a relationship, can lead you to seek constant companionship, wherein even if the first relation doesn't work, then quickly want some kind of a rebound, or someone you want to latch on to the another next person, because your identity itself is somehow related to being into to be with someone basically. So this might lead to having multiple partnerships in one's life. Now, first lord is a lord of self, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So, here you are someone who is trying to control your spouse and trying to control the marital aspects. But here, just be mindful that you do not control to such an extent that your spouse feels suffocated of this union. Now, first lord sitting in the seventh house is giving its seventh aspect on its own house of self and personality. So, overall, it is a good position to have. It gives good marital harmony if it is well placed, and you obviously have an upper hand here in this relationship or partnership, because you yourself are going and sitting in the house of marriage. I will in future make separate videos with different type of planets as the first lord in the seventh house. If you have this placement in your chart, please do mention your experiences in the comment section. I hope you guys must have liked the video. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel. Also, please do let me know in the comment section below what more videos would you like to see. Thank you.